Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new The Penguin spoiler review here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Sinnenberg. Today, we are breaking down this past week's episode of The Penguin, which was episode 7, which was titled Top Hat. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. I do movie and TV show reviews, movie franchise rankings, out of theater reactions, and every Tuesday, my new box office breakdown. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. Comment down below. What are your thoughts on The Penguin episode 7? We're down to one more episode. What any bold predictions for the finale? Will they set up the Batman part 2? Let me know. I respond to every single comment, so please comment down below. Also, please like the video, the thumbs up button down below. I thought episode 7, was titled Top Hat, was an interesting episode. It was not my favorite episode of the season, but this show continues to be excellent in my opinion. This episode did a bold move that in its second to last episode, it did a flashback episode. And it talked about Oz with his mom. And basically, we find out the origin of him and his brothers. We know his brothers died when they were young, but we didn't understand how they were killed. And we see in this episode that Oz, as a kid, loved his mom, loved the affection his mom gave him, but she kind of had to even out her love for her kids between her two other kids. And Oz wanted it, all of her, his mom's love for himself. And that is when Oz and his two brothers are going to playing this like tag, hide and seek type game in the sewers. And we see that, he's about to climb, he has to climb down these steps to find his brothers. And his brothers, I don't think, maybe not on purpose, are trying to make him feel uncomfortable, but they are making fun of him. And no, and in his mind, he personalizes every experience. And he just believes his brothers knew that he couldn't get down there or it would be hard for him. And we learn that Oz is actually the one who killed his brothers. And he leaves his brothers in the sewers. Now, we don't see the bodies or anything, but it's very much assumed that his brothers are killed and drowned in that sewer. I don't know if they didn't show bodies because they're kids, but I do think it's interesting they didn't show any bodies, but it clearly is implied that Oz is the one who killed his brothers. Um, and then Oz goes home and has his movie date with his mom and gets all the love for himself. The other part of the episode is this one-on-one meeting, which was the by far the best part of the episode, which was Sophia meeting with Francis. And Francis not taking anything from Sophia. She believes in her son. She says, you can say, and the key thing with this conversation is that you can change your name all you want, but you're playing the same game as your dad. And Oz knows that. Oz is always two steps ahead. He watched every move, while you have just, other than changing names, is doing the same thing as your father. And the whole point of her for changing to the Gigante name and removing herself from the Falcons was to not be anything like the Falcons and to start a new family that does stuff differently. But as we've seen, she's doing stuff exactly the same. That includes the scene with, I think the character's name is Gloria, or her cousin, I believe, or her niece, who now goes into that facility and now she's scratching herself and she's having the same conversation the way Carmine would have it with her. And she sees that she's basically turning into her father in this episode. She's doing the same thing, doing the same bidding. Kids, she's now, setting the example for that. And that's when she kind of just stops and she's kind of just personalizing into my freedom is when Oz is suffering. And she realized that she's done just trying to be the next Carmine Falcone. She kind of has to do her own thing. So now her goal is to punish Oz. Oz kills Salvatore Maroni in this episode in a really, I thought, nice way where they're fighting. They get to, Oz's people have his back. And then we see Oz is about to fight him, and his heart is so embroiled and passionate with hatred for Oz, because Oz obviously killed his wife and son. he gets a heart attack and he dies via heart attack. Now, Oz still needs to feel like he wins by shooting him like 4 times after he already is killed. Um, but Oz, so Salvatore Maroni is dead, which made sense to have the final episode being the boss fight between Oz and Sophia. So it looks like when Sophia says we're gonna make things personal and she's driving up, it looks like she's driving in a car up to Oz to make this trade for, Oz says, I'll give you all the bliss, which obviously he's lying about. He has all these guys, an army of people waiting to shoot for his mom. And that's when we get the scene where Oz thinks that her mother is dead in the back seat, but it's a bomb, and the bomb goes off, and now Oz is captured as Sophia takes his mom into this restaurant-like place, and we get a flashback to a scene with Oz and Francis, young Oz and Francis, in that place dancing and how she said, I deserve a good life, and you're the last person I have left who can provide me a good life. And Oz says, I won't stop trying until I give you this good life. And Oz has put all of his responsibility, all of his passion into making sure that his mom comes out okay in the end. So it's and Victor was barely in this episode. He gets scratched up, and Oz says, "Go away, go find an army." Doesn't want Victor to be involved in this main situation. So we'll see if Victor truly brings an army to rescue Oz. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see if Oz and Sophia make it out of the show alive, if one make it out of the show alive, or neither make it out of the show alive. Will the show set up the Batman Part 2? I am not sure. But overall, I am very much really enthralled with the show. I think Sophia Christian Milioti has really delivered in this show. Where, yes, you obviously feel bad for her. She was clearly wronged by her entire family. Now, that doesn't give her a reason to start killing people left or right. As again, there is no good people in this show for the most part. There's just no truly great people in the show. But that doesn't make the show bad or unwatchable. You're just fascinated in Oz's story, his connection to his mom, and it's going to all come to a whole next week in this final episode. So that is my thoughts. I really enjoyed Top Hat. I actually enjoyed the flashback element, and I'm excited. It looks like we're getting more of that in the final episode. So I'll be back one more Monday to talk about the Penguin here on the channel. So if you're new, please subscribe, ring the bell, like the video, comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.